So anyway, I want to update y'all. Oh, the reason why Father God said it's all good the way I am is because he said he hates what this world has done to the church, and you know, his church. Like, I am the church. I am the church. The church is his wife.
If your last clear memory of Tila Tequila is MySpace and a bisexual dating show on MTV, I regret to inform you that you have missed several chapters. And if you're wondering who the heck is Tila Tequila, give me 5 minutes and I'll tell you. Tila Tequila was born Tien Tan T Win in Singapore in 1981 and grew up in Houston, but the internet knew her as Tila Tequila. And before influencer was really a job description, Tila figured out how to become one. She absolutely dominated MySpace. At her peak, she had millions of MySpace friends and was essentially one of the first people to prove that being extremely online could be turned into actual mainstream fame. And MTV noticed. In 2007, she got a shot at love with Tila Tequila, where 16 men and 16 women competed to date her. It was trashy. It was incredibly 2007, and it was a massive hit. Tila had successfully speed-run the path from person you saw on MySpace to full-blown television celebrity. And then things started getting considerably less fun. In December 2009, Tila announced that she was engaged to Casey Johnson, heiress to the Johnson & Johnson family fortune. Less than a month later, Johnson was found dead. She was only 30. Her death was later ruled the result of complications from diabetes, and there was no evidence of foul play. But for Tila, that was the beginning of an extremely chaotic period. And somehow, the Juggalos were next. In August 2010, Tila performed at the Gathering of the Juggalos. If you're unfamiliar, that's the enormous festival built around Insane Clown Posse and its fan base. And Tila's set went catastrophically bad. Almost immediately, people in the audience began throwing things at her. Bottles, rocks, other debris. And according to Tila and law enforcement, feces. She tried to keep performing, but that did not work. Security eventually got her out of there after she was injured, and afterwards she said she intended to pursue legal action. And somehow that is still not the weird part of the Tila Tequila story. In January 2012, Tila announced that she was studying Judaism and working towards conversion. She spoke publicly about how much she admired Jewish culture and Reform Judaism. Then, only weeks later, her life took another extremely serious turn. In March 2012, she was hospitalized for about a week after an overdose and a brain aneurysm. She survived and subsequently entered rehab. And I want to mention that because what happened afterward was such an extreme change that the medical crisis has become inevitably part of the conversation around her. But there's no responsible way for me to sit here and diagnose a stranger or tell you that an aneurysm explains everything she later said. What I can tell you is what she publicly did next. And oh boy, by 2012, the woman who had recently been publicly exploiting Judaism was writing posts praising Adolf Hitler. Yeah, that Adolf Hitler. No, Pierre, we have the post. She published an essay titled Why I Sympathize with Hitler and posted a photograph of her dressed in Nazi imagery while standing in front of a photograph of Auschwitz. This wasn't an old offensive joke someone dug out of a forgotten message board. This was part of a very public ideological pivot. And 2 years later, it cost her a television comeback. In 2015, Tila entered the British celebrity Big Brother house. She lasted roughly 1 day. Her old posts resurfaced, producers removed her from the show, and Tila apologized, calling her old comments irresponsible and reckless. You might reasonably assume that this is where the story ends. Perhaps Tila retreats from public life, perhaps there's some reflection, perhaps everyone just logs off. Absolutely not. Over the years that followed, Tila's online presence became increasingly dominated by extreme religious declarations, conspiracy theories, and bizarre ideological posts. Which brings us back to the woman you saw at the beginning of this video. And it creates one of the strangest trajectories of early internet fame. Tila went from MySpace royalty to MTV reality star to tabloid fixture to surviving an aneurysm in rehab, to publicly praising Hitler, to being kicked off of reality television because producers apparently discovered her Nazi post after she'd already entered the house. There are entire sections of this story I haven't even touched because apparently 5 minutes is not enough, Tila Tequila. So if you want the full version, let me know. I may have to come back to this. But for now, that's who the heck Tila Tequila is.